Hello and welcome to another Discreet Dev Update. I'm here, as always, with Brandon Kerner. How you doing, Brandon?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Not bad at all. Thank you for asking. All right. Well, the question on everyone's mind is about Testnet. Everyone's very excited. I know there's been some progress made. I've seen Testnet working flawlessly myself. I've watched it tick through epochs successfully. So, what can you tell me about Testnet? How's that going?
Well, about a week and a half ago, we got the final stages of everything we needed to get testnet done, and we've been able to run it on DevNet for a long time. We're actually very close to being able to get this into the hands of everybody who wants to use it. So we're very close to the open testnet. It's very exciting. We've gotten a lot of work done to make the algorithms responsible for consensus, which is the big feature of this testnet, is that we are actually using our Aurum consensus. We've taken a lot of steps to make it work, and it's very enjoyable to watch it work very as well as it does.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's no small feat to build a novel consensus algorithm from scratch, particularly one as sophisticated as Orem. So you're pleased with how it's working?
Yeah, the everyone at Discreet is very pleased with how it's working.
It's fast.
It's fast, so we've been able to achieve 1 second block intervals very easily. In fact, we could even go to half a second block intervals if throughput ever becomes an issue. Theoretically, we can achieve over 10,000 transactions a second with an 8 megabyte block size.
That's
So,
amazing. That's
yeah.
amazing. That's a real accomplishment. And so testnet is feature complete, but open testnet, we are waiting for its release.
Yep. So everything's lined up. We want to make sure that a lot of the different actions that the network is taking are more visible on the Explorer. Other than that, it's in a ready state for the most part. So we just need to get the faucet online and spin up the node swarm and allow people
Okay.
to run validators.
That's amazing. And if you want to run a validator, do you need to be on a Linux machine, Windows machine, Mac? What's the
Uh,
story there?
every daemon is shipped. So all the daemon code is shipped with the validator code as part of it. If you want to run a consensus node, that's a different issue. We have binaries for the consensus side of the daemon for Linux. We're working on the Windows binaries right now. But yeah, it's really good.
Terrific. And there's going to be documentation for folks who want
Yes.
to spin this up? Okay.
Yeah, we'll have documentation ready for when we're ready to start getting everybody to run consensus nodes.
You mentioned the Explorer. What can you tell me about that?
So, with the redesign of our brand for the website, we're also going to redesign a lot of the components for the user interface with the blockchain, whether this be the Explorer or the faucet, or even just the wallet software, the GUI for the wallet. We're working right now on redesigning the Explorer. This will include a lot of metrics that weren't present in the first Explorer since now we have consensus. We're going to have a block timer and everything like that on the Explorer, which is going to be very enjoyable to see that the network is performing exactly as people in the community as well as our team has been hoping for in terms of productivity of the chain.
That's terrific. It's always nice when the thing you're building corresponds to the idea you had in theory of how it ought to work. Particularly with the speed, I know that Orm presented its own series of challenges, and so really exciting to see it working.
Especially because we don't want to promise features when it comes to consensus and speeds and throughput. What we want to give is guarantees. So there's strict requirements for the algorithm to follow so we can actually guarantee these times and meet the needs of the global payment system that we wanted to build with Discrete. And
Perfect.
it looks like we're there. Yeah.
That's great. That's very exciting, paving the way to mainnet. But let's talk about the website. We've been hearing for a few months about the website revamp. I know the design has undergone a number of different iterations, as has the content. Do you know where we're at with that website revamp, how that's coming?
The website is coming along very well. We're actually incorporating the final elements of the brand change into the website right now. We're hoping to have that ready very soon. It's been very exciting watching the brand develop, and I think everyone's going to enjoy the new website a lot.
Awesome. I was on Twitter or X.com the other day on Discreet's account. I know there a lot of updates get posted there, and one of the things that was mentioned was clarity. What can you tell us about clarity? What is that? How does it relate to Discreet?
Well, as regulation continues to move forward in the cryptocurrency industry, it heavily affects privacy coins. One of the things that we need to be robust and secure, as well as future proof, is to meet a minimal set of compliance standards. And one of these things, which is heavily affected by the compliance, is the ability to trace certain types of transactions back to some kind of identifiable information, whether it be cryptographic or regulatory or otherwise. Clarity is a middle tool that's going to be built on top of Discrete to allow for this. It's going to make use of zero knowledge proofs such that no information is leaked. It's essentially a tool that's going to allow us to have a future proof guard put in place should regulation in cryptocurrency change from what it is now.
That's great. It's good to hear. A cryptocurrency is not of much value, or at least of minimal value, if it can't be used on exchanges or otherwise, outside of the dark web. So understanding that Discreet is concerned about regulatory compliance is very reassuring. And so I look forward to seeing how Clarity develops. I know in associated technologies, the zero knowledge proof library, how does that relate to Clarity?
So part of the ability to perform these types of linkages and whatnot is to have identifiable information, whether it be cryptographic or otherwise, placed inside of a transaction. That would be the naive approach. And unfortunately, the issue with that is it would cause issues with confidentiality and anonymity because now your transactions are a lot more linkable. So where the zero knowledge proof library comes in is us and other users and developers can develop a system of zero knowledge proofs for proving this type of identity information and transactions in zero knowledge, i.e., none of this information is actually included in the transaction or linked to the transaction. All that's included is a proof that says this passes the sniff test for this minimal set of compliance rules that has to be followed for this transaction. So by doing that in zero knowledge and having a library that can perform these zero knowledge proofs and can be used to swiftly create new ones, it's going to be very useful for a tool like Clarity.
Right. And it's a way to preserve as much privacy and anonymity as possible within that regulatory framework.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Thanks. Well, listen, Brandon, I know you're busy. I just wanted to make sure we covered Testnet in this dev update. So I'll let you get back to it. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we wrap it up?
Well, if anyone's interested on what work we've actually been doing since the previous dev update on Orem, the big things we're putting final touches on the actual algorithm and implementing this thing called sessioning. As we talked about before, consensus is broken up into epochs to allow for a rotating committee. This allows for a lot more nodes to participate in the block emissions and rewards, as well as securing the network even further by allowing many other people to run nodes. So we implemented sessioning, we fixed a lot of bugs, and the product is very robust and secure now. So
Amazing.
yeah, just wanted to
Okay.
cover that if people were wondering.
Great. Thanks. And I know that we do have an AMA coming up on X, formerly known as Twitter. So more details around that when we get it scheduled.
If people have any questions about how the technology works or any other questions regarding the project, myself and others will be present to answer those questions. We're hoping to keep in touch with the community, so just remember to bring questions.
Yeah, we'll make that announcements as soon as we've got that on the schedule. But yeah, AMA is coming up, so everything you've wanted to ask about Discreet, make sure you keep those questions at hand, and you'll get a chance to ask them. All right, thanks a lot, Brandon. We'll talk to you
Awesome.
soon.
Take care.
Bye.